Welcome. This is David Boles, Human Meme. Today's topic, a haunting on Happy Jack Hill. There is a city on a hill in the middle of Nebraska called Happy Jack. It is more mountain than city, more place than hill. But there's still the old world bespoke about the haunted Happy Jack. Reckoning back when time didn't matter, and spoked wheels put wood marks in dusty dirt roads. There was a time before anarchy hit the streets, and the heavens were blue with promises made from the grave and buried in the back of bludgeoning minds. The lower Loop River snakes around the foot of Happy Jack Hill, winding along sandbars and stretching deep into farmland. Whooping cranes make yearly journeys to visit the sandhills and to mark rocky basins as their own. And the Loop River is the perfect way station for all inelegant visitors. Standing atop Happy Jack, you can view the entire Loop Valley below you, full of alfalfa and thistlebush and dying cottonwoods, still daring the snow line to cross their sentry fence. And you always wonder at what lives beneath your sodden feet. A mountain filled with white chalk. Yes, chalk. Chalkboard chalk. Whitewash chalk. Chalk that makes paint stick to walls. A long time ago, the chalk inside Happy Jack Mountain was formed and then mined for a generation or two until Happy Jack Hill became what it is now, an empty sepulcher. Hollow inside, shattered outside, and haunted by regret and broken promises. The legend goes that a man from the East Coast moved westward many, many years ago to start a new life as a tender of the land. He wanted to smell the dirt in his hands and feel the grit of the non-man-made under his fingernails. That man and his wife, who was first born in the Loop Valley, traveled back from the East Coast together and arrived at Happy Jack Mountain for a rest, just like the whooping cranes. The couple climbed to the top of Happy Jack to watch the late October snowfall. The icy river crashed and cracked below them. The slippery rocks around them, iced and shining like jewels in the light of a beacon moon, offered no safe sanctuary. As they held hands, man and wife, standing up before the gods, against nature and all her weapons aimed at them, a wind gust fled up the side of the mountain and swept the man's wife from him, swirling her into the air above him. As he struggled to catch her back and bind her back to the earth and bind her back into his arms, the man slipped on an icy rock and tumbled down the hill, shattering bones in arms and legs as he saw his wife floating above him, taking wing to the air, like a whooping crane arcing across a moon-bright sky on a silvery ribbon, slipping away from him forever. And the man howled as he tumbled from the heavens, and he cried out in the night, where only the wind-blown rubble of gravel and sand responded to his weeping, by lodging in tooth and claw and corner of the eye. And then the man was at rest. Near the frozen lip of the Loop River, he could hear the rushing life force beneath the ice. And he stayed there, splayed and broken. Teetering between the living and the dead, he was now in the twilight of the uncanny valley. And he wished for the death of the earth against the life of the sky. And he bargained with the gods above him to only let him see his wife one last time before he died and said goodbye. And there was no answer from the gods. And so the man wept himself into darkness, alone, longing, mishandled, dead against all his best wishes. Body becoming stone, white bones reckoning into salt and ash. And the legend of the land is that once a year, at the end of October, you can see a broken tumbleweed of a shadow of a man crawling up the side of Happy Jack Hill right around midnight. All bones and stones, howling with the wind and weeping with the willows, yelling the name of his wife on the breeze. A name that becomes your name with just the right echo, calling you back to join his climb to the top of the mountain to seek just one more time, one more final look at his beloved. And when his wife does not appear again to meet him before the chimes of midnight, you can hear his salty tears dropping from his eyes like ice and soaking the top of Happy Jack Hill into a slippery glaze, every tear sinking deeper into the mountain as the cries for his lost wife muffle into the rock. And over the lives of other less fortunate across many generations, those salty tears from an inconsolable husband are what turned Happy Jack Mountain into a hill of white chalk. Tears of salty sorrow are transformative and blister rock into a mountain of chalk, waiting to be wished upon and blown away across the lives of the living, on chalkboards and whitewashed fences and painted parlor walls. And then, as the ground below swells with tears, if you look up at just the right time, on the same night, at the dead end of October, you too can see the faint outline of a woman floating like a whooping crane on a wire, circling the moon above, looking down at the sorrow of her broken betrothed, and drinking in the blessings of the land just one more time, before the wind blows her back into the silver sun. Thank you for listening. Be a human me.